Hey everybody, I'm Sam Haymart, and this is a very special episode of Growing Older Gay. We are doing an interview where today I would like to share with you someone who I've gotten to know over the last couple of years, and I honestly consider him a friend. Today we are going to meet Alex. All right, sir, let's see. The first question I have is tell us your name, where you currently live, and what your current leather title is.
So, Sergeant Alex, living in Cincinnati, and I am the current Mr. Cincinnati Leather 2025.
And so when I first met you was about 2 years ago at IML, and at that time you were living in Panama, and I know that's not where you're originally from. So let's kind of go backwards a few steps even before I met you. And so when and where did your leather journey begin? What was the first moment that you sort of stepped into that?
So, I would say that it was in Berlin, in Germany. I was visiting a friend, and she wanted to take me to a club, the Kit Kat Club. And she was like, "Hey, you need to get some gear." And I was like, "Yes, let's go and get it." So I went to a boxer store, and then it was like Disney to me, like all the harnesses, like the leather pieces. So I would say that as an adult, that was like my first exposure to the gear. But then, as I kept reflecting about what was behind my leather, I realized that it started way back in my life when I was a kid, because my parents, both my mom and my dad, they used to love leather shoes, leather jackets, purses. So my brother and myself, we will play as a kids, bootblacking my dad's shoes and stuff. So yeah, that memory came many years after I started as an adult. So yeah, I would say that there are like two phases.
So do you think your parents knew that they were introducing you to a fetish?
Um, I don't know. I mean, they were not present when I was doing the boot blacking, but I mean that happened.
Well, so what was the first, and you might have already covered, what was the first time that you put on a piece of leather gear? What was your first piece of leather gear? And, how did it make you feel when you first put it on?
So it was a bulldog harness, black with silver details, and it made me feel empowered. It made me feel sexy. It made me feel like, wow, I want to wear this, and I want to flirt with the guys. So I would say that piece is really important to me, and also a wristband, like a leather wristband. Yeah, to complement the look, those two, really close to my heart.
I know that when we first met, you were living in Panama, but I've come to know that you are originally from Venezuela. And so when you were growing up there, at what point in your life did you get to start expressing yourself both in who you are and in your leather, or did that come later after you moved away?
Yeah, so unfortunately in Venezuela, I was still in the closet, so I was not an open gay man as I am now. So I would say that I didn't explore more of like my fetish in Venezuela. And then it was in Panama, while living in Panama, that I started to be more curious about it. Like, there's something that I like the jock straps were like a very important piece as fetish, not specifically leather, but I didn't know, or I was not aware that it was like a fetish. So jock straps are really important to me. So that sporty avenue, like I like it a lot. So I combined, the leather and then the sporty type of looks.
Well, and I've seen pictures of you on your social media in jock straps, and I think it
Yes.
works for you pretty well. So in that way, what areas of the leather fetish kink genre do you really connect with the most? Maybe what types of gear do you like, or what areas of the different sub tribes that are within our community? What are the main areas that you connect with?
So, well, as you know, there's like a wide spectrum. So you can have like different interests, but it's very personal, right? So of course, I would say that leather is the main one. I like, formal looks a lot, like shirts, wearing the ties. So that type of sir type of look, I like it a lot. I would say that, yeah, I have like a dominant personality. but I also love like the power exchange dynamics, right? So I can switch between being a dominant or a submissive. So I play a lot with that. Um, then, surprisingly, I was not looking for it. I started to play with a puppy back in Panama. So in Panama, I was able to have that experience, and we became very close. Me as a handler, wearing the full cow, like my Moor cap, my leather jacket, like the formal look with the puppy. So I really enjoyed that part. And then, yeah, we talk about the sports looks. So jock straps, the wrestling um, looks I love a lot. Baseball jerseys as well. So yeah, I like that.
Beautiful. Well, one thing when I first met you, in fact, I remember for the first night you walked up in front of the hotel in Chicago, and we first met there, and we started chatting with you, and we've gotten to know you. And I say we, I mean my husband Oscar and I. There was like this just immediate light and this immediate energy that you were giving off that just I find a very beautiful thing. And as we've gotten to know you, at least in those first days when we were at the IML the first time, it was very clear to me that you were someone who was going to really, I'm thinking, this guy's going to come and compete in Mr. Leather at some point. There was just a feeling that I had about the thing. And so what led you to the point where you made the decision that you wanted to compete for a title? And right now you have the title of Mr. Cincinnati Leather. What led you to the point where you made the decision to give yourself to this path that you're on right now?
So yeah, I mean, I remember very clear that moment when we met. It was my first IML almost 3 years ago. Can you believe it? And then you guys were at the entrance of the hotel. I didn't know anyone, maybe only one person. And then I saw you and I was like, wow, I mean, let's go and talk to these guys. They seem good people. And we have like this immediate connection, right? So as IML was going on, like I started to get, people like asking me, "Hey, are you running for IML?" And I was like, "No, it's my first IML. I just want to understand how is it, get involved with the community a little bit more." I was already leading the Panama Fetish Club home, and then I mean that seed got into my head, no? I was like, what is it to be an IML? Like, why there's like a contest? Like, what is the purpose of this? And then when I went back home to Panama, I was like, wow, this could be like a great opportunity to inspire people, from places like me, from Caracas, from Panama, from other regions where, you have like less resources in a way. There's more taboo. There's more closet in a way, not only about your sexual orientation, but also about fetish and leather. So I said to myself, wow, I mean, this could be like a great opportunity to put myself on stage and say, hey, this is also for you, right? So I think the motivation and inspiring others while also growing at a personal level was like the key motivation for me to run for IML this year.
So yeah, we met up in Palm Springs last fall at Palm Springs Leather Weekend, and you had given me this pin. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm blowing this up on the screen. You can see it. This is a pin that Alex had made. Share with us what this pin means.
Yeah, sure. So one of the traditions that I found in the leather community was the pin tradition, right? That is not only for fundraising, for to me, it's like a way to connect with people and really, have a piece of all the title holders at home, right? So to me, the pin is very special, right? Like it means a lot and it's very close to my heart. So what you have in the pin, it starts with a Muir cap because it represents the power exchange dynamics. That is something that I really, really enjoy. And it's a symbol for the leather community. Then you have 7 white stars. So those stars are the stars in the Venezuelan flag. I am originally from Venezuela. So once the dictatorship came, they changed our national symbols and they added like an extra star. So now the flag has eight. I believe in democracy and freedom, so I wanted to, keep the seven stars because, that's what I believe in. Then you have a blue stripe that says Mr. Cincinnati Leather 2025. So I live in Cincinnati now, and that blue stripe represents the Ohio River in the city and also is part of the Cincinnati flag. The city of Cincinnati has like three blue stripes, so I wanted to capture that. It's not only the Ohio River. I live in Panama 12 years, so it also represents the Panama Canal and, in a way, also the Caribbean Sea. So water, is important to me, and I wanted to, represent that in my pin. You also have a bridge, right? That is like the core in the middle of the pin, and that is the John Rowling Bridge here in Cincinnati. And I wanted to put it there because it's not only beautiful, it's also what I want to do. I want to be a person or a title holder that build bridges within communities, regardless the language, regardless the nationality, regardless the type of community. So to me, building bridges is really, really important. And I wanted that to be captured in my pin. Then at the bottom, last but not least, you have the motto of the city, Junta Juvent, that means strength in unity. And I think that the leather community and the king community overall is stronger when we are together and united. So I wanted to put that because, I mean, it's part of Cincinnati, but it's also a core in the king community to me.
Well, in that way, you have been out there already building a lot of bridges, and I've been watching you on social media, and we talk and we visit occasionally, and you have visited at least, and you've done this before I met you, but you have been visiting a lot of countries around the world, a lot. I think you've traveled more than anyone I know, and I'm talking about South America, Latin America, Europe, a lot of places in the United States. What are some of the countries and the locations around the world that you've traveled to in your leather journey that really stand out to you?
Sure. So, I mean, traveling is one of my passions. So, even before being active in the leather community, I enjoy traveling a lot. So, I've been to 30 countries. I realized that last December. I was like, wow, 30, that's good. And then now I merge both of my passions, leather and traveling. So I've been to, different countries to kink events or just visiting friends, saying Norway, Spain, Colombia, Argentina, Mexico, and then many places here in the States, right? What is beautiful about this is that you can feel the local flavor of the communities. And of course, I mean, in the States, it's huge. You go to MAL, IML, Folsom, and you get like this massive or mass type of event versus other places like, I mean, in Panama or in Bogota, where you have like more intimate type of connections, right? So I would say that it depends on the type of event that you want to have and what you can get from them.
Well, that's funny. You actually answered the next question that I had in some ways. The next question I had was, in all of the places that you visited, what are some of the things that really stand out that make those communities unique? And I think you touched on a lot of that already. But what what is a common thread that you've noticed the most in visiting? Is there one thing that ties everything together in the same genre that you can really put a
Yes. I would say that there's like this sense of brotherhood, fellowship, like type of a safe space that where you can just be yourself, right? So although there are like codes, in the looks, etc., what I would say is that these spaces like open the door to really express yourself as you are and show yourself as you want to be presented, right? So I think that that is like a common theme that I've seen a lot. And of course, like the way to socialize or to interact or the music at the parties can be different. But at the end, it's that sensation of unity, right? And it's like, oh my God, now I'm gonna see my friends that I haven't seen like in 1 year or in 6 months. So it's also like this reunion that happens, and I think that that is also beautiful.
So I have seen over the last few years that you have met a lot of people who are very well known in our leather fetish and kink community. Are there any people that stand out that you were really wanting to meet, that maybe were role models and that you've gotten to know?
Yeah, sure. So let's start with Marcus Varela. When I started to get more involved in the community and I found out about IML, he was the current title holder, right? So being himself Latino with Latino roots and being the current IML, I was like, wow, like, okay, that guy is there. And then, yeah, I was able to talk to him in Colombia. So I met him in Colombia before in the States. And then, yeah, I mean, we have become really close. And he has really helped me not only in my leather journey, but also in my personal life. So Marcus Varela, I would say also Goddess Indigo. She inspired me. I mean, she has like this warm, strong personality. She's very vocal about her point of view. So when I saw her live in McAllen in South Texas at the Rio Grande Valley Leather Weekend, I was like, wow, this woman, she's really, really strong, no? Um, then from Europe, I would say Bear from Norway. He was Mr. Norway 2021 and then Mr. Fetish Europe later. So yeah, he's a person that knows a lot about history. He also travels a lot. His leather style is also very impeccable. So I like that as well. So I would say like these three people I look at.
Wonderful. And I have to agree with you. I've gotten to know Marcus a little bit, and he is a magical person. I want to talk about you a little bit and what your goals are. You currently have the title of Mr. Cincinnati Leather, and you're hoping to achieve the title of International Mr. Leather. What are some of the goals that you have as far as what you would like to do with those titles, the one you have now and the one that you may have? What do you want to bring to that?
So, well, I am the first Latino that has won Mr. Cincinnati Leather Contest. So that is amazing, right? And it's a big responsibility, right? I was almost a year um, living in Cincinnati when I won the title. And then as I took the title was about, okay, representation, okay? And not representation just for being or filling the Latino quota. It's about saying, hey, you can make this, right? So showing up to the events, saying hi to the person that is in the corner, in the bar, and also like having different types of events is also really important to me, no? Because leather is not only at a bar at night, can also be a social, like in a couple of hours, we're gonna have a sober coffee social that is, a bunch of people wearing leather or not, grabbing some coffee together. And then also, I would say that I wanted to position Cincinnati again in the leather community. And I wanted to do that because when I started to travel before winning the title, people will ask me, not from Cincinnati, or maybe some from Cincinnati. Oh, Cincinnati, why did you move there? And then I was like, what is wrong with Cincinnati? Oh, yeah, it's like, that city in the Midwest, like conservative and so on. So I think that there are like many taboos in people's mind, and they judge you from where you are from. So yeah, I am Venezuela, moved from Panama, now in Cincinnati. So I've been like in communities that are not like the trendiest ones or the most, popular. So to me, saying, hey, we can have a great community in Cincinnati or back in Panama or in Latin America. So I would say that it's in a way rebranding a little bit. Also, like what my city can offer, and also bringing together the people in the community here. right? I came in a moment where not necessarily like everyone was united, and just by showing up, consistency, building different type of events that can, satisfy different audiences, that has been really, really important to me. So that is for Cincinnati. Then IML, right? So the I stands for international. So I really, really, really want to bring the international part of IML alive, right? I think that we need to balance a lot on how we reach other communities that are not in North America or in the USA. So to me, that is something that I want to achieve.
If there was a young man somewhere you want to inspire and empower with the man you become and what you bring to our world, who would he be? Where would he be? And what would you want him to learn from you?
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, that man would be myself as a young man, you know? Um, let's think about a young man in Caracas in a humble neighborhood that family struggles with money. It's not like the warmest place, some domestic violence, etc. So I would tell that guy, hey, you know what? Don't worry, you're gonna find that community. You need to wait a little bit. You need to go through some hard situations to make you stronger. But the moment that you find that community, you will feel, oh, this is it. This is the place that I belong to. So I will tell him, hey, just be patient, keep working on you. Everything happens for a reason. So just don't get desperate. You will get there.
Well, we're almost getting done here. And so I would ask, is there anything that we haven't discussed that you'd like people to know about you?
So one of the things that I love is to nurture my spirituality. I think that as a human being, it's not only about, your brain, your emotions, or how you look like. It's also that connection with something that is above you. So I would say that I've been almost like 11 years in a journey of really, really growing spiritually, and that has been life changing, right? Finding peace in a small big things like a sunset, or being in nature with my dog Mocha. uh, so I would say that spirituality is something that I encourage everyone to find. I think that to me spirituality is not just meditating for 1 hour like a monk in the Tibet. It's about really, really, being present and understanding that there are things that you cannot control, but there are things that maybe, you can, but the result, the output is something that you just can't, right? So yeah, I think that spirituality is an area of my life that is critical, and yeah, it pays off.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up because when people see the pictures and the artwork, like the Tom of Finland imagery that is part of what the outside world sees as the leather fetish and kink community, they don't often see deeper than that. They don't often see that many of us are very spiritual. It's not the bar scene all the time. There are a lot of parts and pieces that fit into the lifestyle and who we are that go well beyond that imagery that people see.
And then now that you mentioned Tom of Finland, I just wanted to talk a little bit about it because definitely Tom is someone that has inspired me, like his work, right? Not only that, he was an immigrant in the US. And it was not an easy time. It was a tough time, wartime, all that, and he made his path here, right? And I think that sometimes people they just don't realize how hard it is to start from scratch in a new country, new culture, new language, new values. So it takes a lot of intention to do it. So Tom is not only an inspiration because of his art, he's also an inspiration about who he was, and what he achieved. So yeah, Tom is really close to my heart.
In that way, you are an immigrant to our country right now, and you've come here at a time that is very interesting to become an immigrant in the United States. And you've also come from a country that is in our news a lot as part of the interesting that's going on in our world right now. So from the outside view, watching you and knowing you as a friend, you seem to have been navigating it beautifully in the sense that you don't seem to let that get you down, everything that's going on. You are still doing what you're doing. You're bringing the message and you're building the bridges. You're doing all of this. What powers that? What is that for you?
I think that I just cannot stay silent. The situation in Venezuela is not new. When all the crisis or this situation started, I was 13 years old, and little by little, I saw how democracy was eroded. So now being here and seeing so many similarities, it's in a way hard to see because, I mean, history repeats a lot, right? So being here in the States now and also being a Venezuelan has also opened the door for me to explain to others what is it like in Venezuela, what happened, like why we get there and why the situation is like that now, right? So I think that in a way it's a unique opportunity because people has reached out to me and told me, hey, can you let me know what happens? Because I have no idea. I know that something is happening there, but I don't know what is it, right? Like when rights are at stake, you need to, be vocal. You cannot remain silent, and you need to fight for it. Because if not, little by little, someone will take that, we need to defend it.
We're just about done here. Where can people find you online? What is your handle?
You can find me on Instagram. I am very active there. So it's at El Sargento Alex. I'm going to spell it ELSARGENTO Alex, El Sargento Alex. I am also on Facebook, sgt.alex, and also in Recon, sgt Alex. So you can find me there. You can reach out. Very approachable here. So yeah.
Thank you for being with us today, Alex. I feel blessed to be able to introduce you to the audience that we have here, and I look forward to seeing you at IML.
Thank you, Sam, for the invite.
Well, there you have it, my friends. Alex, I'm glad you had a chance to get to know him a little bit. And as he discussed, there are plenty of places you can find him online, and all of the links we discussed are down in the show notes. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see our latest video right there. You can also, right below that, subscribe. And if you're on a podcast listening, you can also hit subscribe there. And please leave us a good review. Either way, stay tuned.